Okay. Well, if you're all there, stream, good evening, good afternoon, and hello. Welcome to round 7 of Group 3 at Catalunya.
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 I think we should rename this Grim Hates Cats.
It's got cat in the name, so it's my favourite circuit.
Sure.
It must be my favourite.
A good Group 2 race for those that's watching.
Very hectic at the back. So I think actually throughout the field it was very well paced, very close racing from start to finish. I think as well.
And I think fairly incident free as well, which is something that I know everyone's kind of like is working towards. But it's good. It's good when we get see that. Now I'm just going to try while we're just on out laps. I know I got told last time that. It won't let me leave the... It's because I'm pressing the wrong button because I'm a special. I'm just going to try and turn the microphone volume up. Yeah, they said that my microphone was a little bit quiet last week, so let's shove it up there a little bit. And we'll see where we get. It's around out laps at the minute. We shall see how this race goes. We've got Doc Coop and Phil Babbage in the Apocalypse RCZs together at the moment. Probably trying to drag each other around a little bit. How many people we've got in the room? We need to turn that keyboard off. This is the only downside to coming straight from one to t'other is getting all the last little settings done, but we're away. So we've got 10, 11, got 11 drivers in the room today, so it should be points for everyone. I know we had a few disconnects last time, which is unfortunate.
We did. It was actually a very quiet field last week from memory at Nürburgring.
It was. I think we had 7 finishers out of 9 or 10 starters, so Group 3 classes is just dropping away a little bit, but there's always some close racing. I think you'll have the normal protagonists at the front. Will be obviously the 3 tag Porsches, Ash and Harley, and probably Ball Boy's back this week. I know he was away last week, so I'd expect him to be up there, and possibly Proctor as well. If Proctor's racing, I've not even checked that. He is racing, so I think they'll be the ones you'd expect to be up the top, but it's an unpredictable class, isn't it? You can't guarantee that you're going to have the same drivers at the front week in, week out.
No, it's a very well balanced, as you say, a very well balanced class. There's all various different levels of driver skill as well. Even I think we're having TC track control enabled for them does make it a little bit easier on launches and things. So it's all about outright lap pace rather than just the initial start on the line. Yeah,
the initial punch out the corners. I know, obviously in other leagues we've raced, you've got the AMG. It's just a rocket ship off the line. I've not found anything that can stay with it, but it settles down. I think over a race distance, all the cars are probably fairly well balanced in the fact that you've got the strengths in different areas that the others haven't got, and it does always enter that close racing.
Well, there's a bit of contact with Harley there, I think, in Castle. Hello.
We have got an extra voice. I got told you might be coming. We have James May, I believe. Sounds a lot more interesting than you do when you're around Clarkson and the others. Good to have you with us. We shall. Unfortunately, I'll tell you now, my PlayStation's a bit dim and it won't let us do replays, so we always end up without that. But we managed. We get through, and it's. It should be a close, tight race, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Strategy-wise, what sort of strategy would you like to see? And obviously, I think in the 2-stop's going to be favourable for this circuit, like it was in the Group 2s as well. They doing 21 laps today.
Do you know what? I will just check. I think it's 21.
So we're probably looking at the ideal as being the 7:14, and then to finish, unless someone rolls the dice a little bit and plays a longer or a short stint possibly within there.
Yeah, I would think the 2-stop, like 7:14 is probably your most predictable. But without running these cars, I would think they'll probably be able to get to the same the same sort of like distance. You might get 8 laps out of them, so you could get like an 8:16 in a short stint. If people are in traffic at the start, they can pull the short stint in at the beginning of the race and just try and get themselves a bit of free air. We have got a couple of drivers now in the pits for a second stint. Ash is out at the moment. He's currently in second, but he has gone purple in the first sector. That's a track that he likes quite a lot.
I'm not sure about the tyre wear on the Group 3 cars, but realistically, you want to be getting your quali time done in the first lap, because usually by the second lap the tyres aren't quite at their optimum, and yeah, they're about like half a second slower. Yeah,
we found that in the Group 2 race as well. They just, although in a race stint they'll be more than enough. If qualifying we just want that final edge, they do just lose. We were probably losing 3-4 tenths a second, like you say, off the first lap.
Yeah, especially found the turn 3 very difficult on worn tyres because of just how much lean angle they're on, and how much stress they're under.
The front end pushes. The front end car just wants to drive away, doesn't it?
It really does. Yeah, Iceman's on a lap, I believe. He's just been in the pits. He's actually not really done a proper lap so far, so...
And Ballboy's right behind him as well, so I think these two... I mean, Ballboy's quick. He's showing some real pace earlier on in the season. And obviously tucked in behind Kimi. There's a few cars bunching up on the especially Classics, the back straight. So hopefully they're not going to get caught up. Kimi's 4 tenths under at the moment. And I think those Proctor just kept nicely out of the way there. Ballboy as well, we'll have to have a look to see what he's going to do, because he's not really dropping back from Kimi, and he's in a perfect slipstream onto the straight, and the Nissan is quick in a straight line.
Very quick in a straight line, those cars. The Porsche is a very well balanced vehicle as well, actually. So
I think as an all-round car, I think the Porsche is probably the ultimate out there. So we'll watch Kimi across the line now, see what he can do for us. He's currently sat in 9th, but he will jump up. Pole that by just over a tenth, and Ballboy takes him to 3rd, so the slipstream up behind Iceman did do him a benefit there. Just have a quick further and see if we can catch anyone else on a lap.
Do you think the slipstream on this track is worth more than the dirty air that you're going to get?
I think there's only really, to me, the main straight and possibly the back straight that you can really utilise it. In a quali lap, if you get the drag onto the straight out of the final chicane, you're going to gain a little bit, but you then get into quite a tricky section of the track anyway, into like turn 1, 2, 3. So if you I was finding in the previous race, if you're too close, you're losing maybe 2 or 3 tenths in that section because you are in that dirty air.
Yeah, I was in the dirty air of Tay, and Havoc was so quick behind because I couldn't get any clean air, and I was losing a lot of downforce in every corner.
I found that the Lexus Group 2 as well, actually. Yeah. Within half a second of someone who was just lacking that aero.
Yeah, you don't really gain it.
Watching Reddy Shaver's just going to come through on a lap here. He was nearly 2 tenths under at split 2. Proctor in the meantime has taken a 43.9, which is a quick lap in one of these. It's a very good lap. So we'll see what Reddy Shaver can do as he crosses the line. 43.8. So now we're into the battle now, into the final stages of the quali. The couple of guys have got another lap. It's Kimi coming across the line now. He's just dropped back to a tenth off. We obviously didn't catch his split times to see where he's at. And he's up behind. He's gone again, another tenth off. So we've got Ballboy again to be the next one across the line in a perfect drag behind Castle.
Yeah, Phil Babbage jumps up to 4th. He's 6 tenths off Proctor, so these top 3 seem to be in a bit of a league of their own for pole position. Proctor just crossed the line, didn't improve on his lap. He was about 2 tenths off his previous one.
Ash is 400ths under his best time here. So he's still close. You're 1.8 seconds so far covering the top 8 drivers. And I don't think Ash is going to get across the line for another lap now. He's got 10 seconds left. So he will be able to complete this one. But that will be his run.
Getting a decent line through there. Cutting that nice corner last. I can't help that, it's best I really was.
There you go, no, it's cool. We got you. Yeah, that last corner, nicely. So he has improved by nearly 2 tenths. We'll see who else we're going to try and find, who is just coming into the last section of the track.
Ready shaven. Ready
Here we
shaven.
go. Ready shaven is. So we'll be able to catch most of these across the line now. I do like the way they've re-liveried that Porsche. The green would just suit it. Smalley will like the Hamazaki colouring. A good line there through the last chicane. You can ride that, I think, a lot more than I. But yeah, I find it unsettles me, so I don't take too much of it. But you can ride it. Well, no, he's dropped off on his lap there. He's ready shaven. So you've got Proctor. You've got more people coming through.
You've got Harley next across the line by the looks of it.
Yeah, Harley.
So is he going to improve
Kimmy
his sit?
behind him. See, Kimmy's in a drag here, so this could really maybe just. So that's not improved either of the lines. They've next got Dot Coupe and Castle across the line. Dot Coupe move up to 7th, then just drop back down to.
Castle has improved.
Castle to
Got
4th.
another.
Yeah.
So very
respectable time
close.
there.
We've got Robbo coming around in the Wasp-powered Mazda.
You've got the second of the top 6 within a second of each other, more or less. Which stands for Ball Boy.
The other second there.
Ballboy did not improve on the lap that he was tucked up behind Iceman, so clearly that worked out for him quite well. I'm not
So
sure
we've
what
got
his...
Mick just bringing up the back of the field there on a fill-in drive. Last minute
For
one,
Othed.
for
Othed River, I
Othed.
believe, isn't it?
Lord Othed of River unable to make today. He's got alternative commitments. I think he's mid-car rebuild. So
I've detected a little theme here, Ash. Jeff, there's the Rod and Pollux also one behind the other on the right side of the grid again.
as they were in the Group 2
Yes, we
race.
were in the Group 2, so maybe that's our positions for this weekend.
Maybe. I think one thing that I like about Catalunya is it's, although the first turn's quite tight, it's not like quite a carnage first turn like you get at Monza, where there's going to be a lot. Obviously, everyone's just settling down. It looks like
Iceman got a really good
2
start.
R&P cars. It looks like Ash is just tucked up behind Ball Boy. Iceman has got a good start, and then you've got Ready Shaven.
Running
A bit
deep,
lungy,
running
but
back to
he hasn't made that stick. So you've then got the 2 Apocalypse cars, Proctor and Phil Babbage in 2nd and 3rd. Castle, Ready Shaven in 4th and 5th.
Ash trying to make up a few positions on the start. Obviously last week's winner. A little bit of contact there. Ball Boy's off and he spun at the back of the field. That's disappointing for him after a pretty good qualifying.
Great
looks
move
like
by
everyone else-
Harley up the inside of Ash there to take 6th back. Does make you wonder. I know the 3 of them, Harley, Ash and Ball Boy, were quite close. Just to see if there's any contact between them there. But Harley will do well around here today as well. He's a great driver. He's had some little bit of inconsistency so far, but his pace is always there. He's always been there or thereabouts. Little half-second penalty there as well, just taking into that chicane.
Yeah, you can definitely scroll off those 5-10 penalties quite quickly. Ash trying to go down the inside, Harley popping off nicely.
I think it's too early in the race for team orders. Obviously,
you don't want to, you don't want to hold up the teammates, especially when the guys up ahead is starting to clear off. BJ Robbo, a little bit sideways in the background. He might get overtaken by Mr. Michael Howell, but it doesn't look like.
Mick up in 7th. We've got Ball Boy. Ball Boy looks to have been off again. He's dropped 15 seconds on this lap. That can't just be from that one incident. He must have been off again. So you've got Mick now only a second behind Robbo. And then we're just going to jump on with Ash and Harley down here. Harley's still got a little bit of a penalty. He's just going to take a real defensive line down into turn 1. Force Ash to take the outside.
Ready Shaven's just taking 3rd away from Phil Babbage by the looks of it. Actually into turn 1. Great move on down the inside.
I think they're going to try and work together, so I think Castle's going to try and have a go quite early on because he wants to stick his teammates. And then they'll try and slip through.
I would possibly expect to move maybe down to this next Turner from Turner.
Yeah,
I've got you there. Turn, corner, Turner. We'll call them Turners, they're easier.
Tuners. Call them Tuners.
I think they're possibly going to see a move here if Castle can stick this close to him down into the left-hander at the bottom of the back straight. There's a couple of teammate battles on as you go through the field as well. You still see the 2 R&P cars very close in the background.
I think we might see a move from Castle down the straight, depending how quick that Porsche is down. Porsche, it's a Peugeot going down that straight. Doesn't look like it's going to have quite enough straight line speed, but that front straight is so long. I would expect to move down. Maybe moving into this final sector is risky, but probably
still got Harley in 6th, still holding off Ash. Just going to jump back up to the front. Kimmy's away with us now at the moment. He's put 1.3 second lead into Proctor. Proctor showing some real pace. He had a very unfortunate disconnect. It was one of them, him and Doc Coop. It might have been a fake internet news issue last weekend. They both seemed to disconnect at the same time, which is unfortunate for the Apocalypse team. But he's shown some real pace earlier on in the season, and I think he's
right now. Gonna go around the outside. Will Harley cover him off though? I'm not 100% sure. He is actually. So Harley wanted to fight with his teammate. Yeah, this time around.
Yeah, I think this earlier on in the race, maybe not as much you'd think that they'd try and tow each other up. I suppose with the cars in front still within view, they're not really losing much time to those in front of them, so just let it settle down, pull each other up. But it is allowing Doc Coop just to catch up behind him now. There's only 1.1, he's starting to just pull that gap back.
Further down the field, Ball Boys now start to catch onto the back of Michael. He's only within a second and a half or so.
So you can see Ball Boy's pace. When we cut to him at the end of the previous lap, he was about 15.4 off, and he's only 16.2, so he's not. His pace isn't really that far off the leading drivers, the top 5 drivers, and it's a shame we got caught up in that incident in the first lap that's just made him drop back this far down the field. We'll keep an eye on this. He's going to be on Mick now. Certainly I would expect him to possibly down into turn 1. So again, Kim is again just stretching this lead out now. He's now got 1.9 over Proctor.
Yeah, but Reddy Shaven's catching up to Proctor, so the green team, as I'm going to call them, they are going to try and make it over.
Yeah, Reddy Shaven's been really quick so far this season. I've got the access to the Discord full of his full results, but he's had some wins and he's had some real good pace, and I think it's probably going to end up being a season-long battle between 2 teammates in Reddy Shaven and Kimmy.
Yeah,
he's trying to move around the outside in T3 as well.
It's a very risky one. Proctor gets a 5/10 penalty. But into here, a move is possible, but it's very risky. Is he going to go for it?
He has.
Yeah.
And generally, credit to both drivers that they made it through there clean. To go through there sideways or side by side like that is credit to the ability of both them drivers. I thought they did that very well. But it has just made Reddy Shaven just a little bit loose now. She's now going to try and push on, not necessarily to try and get Kimmy, but we're in that situation that he was talking about earlier with the dirty air. In fact, that's probably going to affect Proctor now more than it is Reddy Shaven, and just maybe just give him a chance to just let that just drag out a little bit.
Yeah,
so if we just jump back, the battle that we had between Harley and Ash has just been gapped. Ash has dropped back to 8th now. Harley's
got a little bit wide out of turn 3 from what I saw as well. I didn't really call it because you got
Romo's off in the background. Big time round.
Oh, and we missed Ball Boy overtaking Michael. So yeah, he's through. He's not gaining on the leaders, but I expect he's gaining on Mr. Ash Wilson.
I think the battle at the minute is going to be between these two, 7th and 8th. It's the closest battle on the track at the moment.
Yeah, Harley's also catching up with Phil Babbage, so I wouldn't rule that out as an overtake for the top 5.
And Ball Boy is got a distance. He's pulling time back on these two because these two are fighting. He's got the gap down to 7.5 seconds now.
Co-op into turn 1 possibly if he's got the run on him down into T1.
I think he will make this stick. Ash will break quite late here.
Yeah, that's the mistake.
Great
that
move
Ash
there.
The mistake Ash has been making the last couple of laps is he's gone for the wider line
to try and get the cut back, and it really does affect your line into turn 2 and then into 3. That section's it's kind of one big wobbly corner. I think you've got to get the first part right, otherwise you lose too much time in turns 2 and 3.
It's about the flow through there. If you don't have the right line, you're just going to lose a bunch of time.
And you're right a second ago with the Harley catching Phil Babbage. They're down to like 1/4 of a second now. Ash is just looks in the background, just started gapping Dot Cooper a little bit, and they're all look to be catching Castle as well. So we could end up with quite a battle here for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Is Harley going to try and move down into this last turn? Not quite close, but it's very, very close. This battle is, let's say, allowing Ash to catch up in the background. I'm just going to try and fire up social media corner while we're winning as well. I can see the ping. I don't think we're going to get anywhere near last week's record of 520 something comments in the stream, which was an OFR record.
For the amount of people that are in the chat at the moment, I don't think they're going to quite get that at the moment. But
look now, Harley's
going
to try and make a move down here into turn 1. He's alongside Phil Rose, and he should be able to make this stick. Although, like I say, it is going to possibly just affect his line through turns 2 and 3. A great move there from Harley. And if he can just gap Phil Babbage here a little bit, then it will just give him a chance to pull away. But this battle has given Ash the opportunity to close right up on the back of the parent.
Yeah, Ash is right in the back of him now.
Social media corner, we've got a bit of love for Team Harley right now from Dominic.
It's
we've also got a smallie saying high lever. I believe that might be towards you, Jeff.
Oh, bless him. My little diamond he is. I dream about that man.
And then someone thought, no, he hasn't yet.
No, and to be fair, Mr. Fuller, we'll jump back down to he's not in last place either. It's actually been a really good result for Mick. Although I believe Mick's carrying a 5-place grid penalty, so
ball boys off.
He'd have to. He is going to finish just outside the points unless he can get himself up into the top 5. But if he has a good race, if he has a good battle,
might go for it.
See, coming out of that last turn there, that right-hander, it's really odd. Sometimes you tend to pick up a penalty on the outside of the track, and like Mick looked to go quite wide then, but there was no penalty for him. It's a bit of a GTS-ism, I think.
I believe that you don't actually get a penalty for that corner. I think it's the corner before the left.
The right-hander onto that straight, is it?
First set of pit stops coming in, so Proctor's been the first one to fire the gun off. Just for tyres only.
And Harley's in as well. So Ash is perhaps going for, like, say, the slightly longer. Do you know what? Race info. One Wally. We'll just have a look, because there's a chance that. No, I was thinking maybe Ash might go one stop if he could get it to lap 10, but with those tyres, I think it's going to really struggle. He's maybe just trying to go that one lap longer and overcut what Harley's doing. Kimmy's tyres, I can't have pitted yet. If he can carry these on for another 2 laps, it's only his offside tyres that are really wearing that bad. With the lead he's got, there's a chance that he could one stop this. The same ready save.
Worth considering, isn't it, really, at this stage?
Yeah, it's either he's going to put this lap or he's going to go for lap 10.
Yes, we'll stick with them because we're at the back end of the lap now. You see, Proctor's been in for tyres, so with them having the lead they've got of 12 seconds really over Proctor, it's debatable whether Proctor will be able to make that 12 seconds up in 3 laps, and if not, the one stop could be on. Which is a testament to the Porsche being so well balanced. In fact, it doesn't use its tyres in the same way that other cars do. We've got a bit of Mick love now. Just keep his head down and stay on track, and he'll do his confidence a world of good. I think you're right, Si. Kimmy is in and Reddy Shaven's in, so they are going for a standard 2-stop.
Of Bullboy. Bullboy must have made another mistake, or maybe a little bit of contact between Michael Howe and
Mick has gone wide at the last. There's no damage shown on his car, and even though it's on light, it would still be on there. So you've got Phil Burris and Ash is in the pits now, so we'll be able to see after this round of pit stops where it comes through with great battle look there between Reddy Shaven and Proctor. We'll be able to see where Ash comes out in relation to Harley. He has come out behind him. And Harley's got a 2.6 seconds, so I'm not quite sure at the moment that strategy's quite paid off the way that we're close enough. Close enough is close to Obviously got another 12 laps to try and pull this gap back on Harley now.
Yeah, I think this confirms the 2-stop now. Everyone is pitted. I believe one person I forgot isn't who pitted on lap 5. Might take the 10. Someone did cut on lap 5. Might have been Castle.
No, Castle's got a decent time. I'm just quickly flicking through the field to see. Everyone's got fairly fresh tyres, so you'd like to think that if they have pitted, maybe they've pitted a second time already.
Yeah.
I can't think that anybody would be trying a 3-stop, but Kimi is driving very, very well today. He's so dependable. You can virtually guarantee that each week he's going to be in the shout for, certainly for the top 3, if not the out-and-out race win.
Yeah, especially in that endurance race that we did the other day, or you guys did. I unfortunately disconnected, but he was so quick, those. Solid 2-3 seconds quicker than everyone on the lap. I didn't watch the end of the race because, but I think he did have the pace over everyone there. I think
Harley's just bogged a little bit off the line there. He's just lost about 4 tenths to Ash in just coming out of that chicane.
It's quite a tasty little battle between Ready Shaven and Proctor for second at the moment after those random pit stops.
I think
A little bit weaving down the straight going on as well.
I think the Prozo works well on these newer tyres, and then maybe falls off a little bit
towards the end,
road.
but Proctor is nearly 4 tenths under at split 1. 4 tenths purple. Obviously aided a little bit by the I don't know, maybe with the fact that these haven't got as much downforce as the Group 2s, whether they'll be as affected by the dirty air as much as the GR2s.
By dirty air, possibly. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, last season didn't seem too bad following people, but the Group 2 cars does, you can definitely feel the effect of it.
Yeah, it's very much like the F1 type feeling, isn't it? Because the downforce is so high normally. Oh, we've lost Grim for a second. He'll be back shortly. Because the downforce is so high normally, any reduction on that, you really do feel it. Whereas I think maybe these cars, with the fact that the downforce isn't as high at the start, is perhaps a little bit less noticeable as you come in. But Ready Shaven
on the gravel.
He looks to be really, really having to push hard, really, to keep Proctor behind him. And it probably is the battle so far. Although just looking on the track map, you've maybe got 4th and 5th. Well, that looks a little bit harder, closer than it did, sorry. But Harley's, the gap between these two isn't really changing that much. Harley just seems to be a little bit looser coming out of that chicane. You've got Ash sat there in 6th. Phil Babbage 7th. Dot Coop 8th. Ballboy 9th. BJ Robbo in 10th. And Mick as the anchor man. So we're just going a little bit deep on the entrance to the last chicane.
I mean, his pace isn't that bad, to be honest. His quickest lap is a 47, which really isn't that bad.
He's not, because he's obviously with the decision was obviously made by over there not to be out of race today due to circumstances that Mick didn't really get much time to practice. So obviously the setup only went on the car, and he quickly dived out the pit box at the end of the GR2 race and straight into. He's not really put many laps around here, so to be only sort of like three maybe 4 seconds off with the amount of practice he's had this week, he's still, like you say, it's a good showing. Kimmy 4 tenths under Ready Shaven's lap here, so it's a possibility that we might see a 42 if he can get good drive out of here, which in a race situation in the Group 3 car around here, 42 second lap will be a very, very impressive indeed.
Yeah, especially with that last stint as well being 1 lap shorter.
Yep.
I think you can gain about a 10th or maybe even 2 tenths. Ooh, Proctor go really sideways out of that last corner.
You see,
I think
just lost a little bit in the second half of that stint there.
Yeah, but all seem to be doing. In fact, Ready Shaven's lap is only about 100th off of Iceman's lap.
Yeah.
Iceman's just in a
0.015. It's real close. And I think Kimi would have been on for a fast lap. They just seem to maybe lose a little bit into the last chicane, which can easily be done. And the Proctor's catching back up now to Ready Shave, and I think that is the battle of the race so far. Castle in a very lonely fourth, but it's again great team points. The tag teams are away with the team championship, I think, now. And then you've got Harley and Ash. It's hovering between a second and a second and a half. It's been fairly consistent. Ash has got a 0.2 second penalty there. See where he picked that up. That's just going to allow this to stay constant, maybe till the next round of pit stops, and then it'll be a drag to the finish. One thing Ash will probably have done, as he does quite a lot, he's very, very good at fuel economy, so there's a chance that he's probably got a little bit more fuel than Harley. I said marginally, so we will actually need to put a little bit less fuel in at the next round of pit stops, which could just close this gap up on the road. Yeah,
and his tyre wear's actually quite a lot better than Harley's, and towards the end of the stint that will be crucial as Harley goes wide and he's on the sausage curve, which you don't want to be on because they can really mess
so
up.
She's right all over the back of him now. It's really closed this up. Things I like about watching these races though is you've got teammate battling. The pace between some of these teammates is very, very close. You've got these two here. You've got the Ready Shaven, Castle as well on his day, and Kimi. There's not always a great deal to choose between the three of them, so it's nice to see teammates battling so close.
Yeah, we saw it last week in Germany. They were very close, the whole race. Maybe something to do with Ash's pace job the whole race. But yeah, they were very close as Ash has got rid of all his penalty now. He's looking to attack sometime in the next lap or two.
Yeah, I would think Ash will probably try it, because Harley seems to be just a lot of front end push there. He's going to have to take a defensive line down into this hairpin here. He has got the inside line, but Ash will cut back.
Yeah, there we are.
Nice little drift there by Harley as well, but a great move by Ash there on the inside.
Yeah, Harley just kept taking that inside line, and that was really helping him defend, but then just run it a little bit wide into turn 4.
Ash is looking
kind of still in position.
Ash is looking very glitchy there as well. He seems to be jumping around a little bit.
Just a bit.
Just see that also. Unfortunately, we have also lost ball boy by the looks of it, from what I've just seen. Apologies, I've just had a typical issue myself.
Yeah, there's no. You've only got 10 now, so Mick is going to score a point no matter where he finishes today.
I don't know if the 5 place grid penalty will be added and he'll be 11th and Ballboy will be 10th. I don't know.
I don't know, maybe with Ballboy disconnecting. So Proctor's in the pits now. So maybe it was Proctor that made the... And Castle's in as well. It's barely... Maybe they could do an 8-lap stint on the end.
You could see how little fuel Ready Shaven has got. He's got pretty much an empty tank. I reckon he's definitely going to be in this lap no matter what. But I don't think he must have just not fueled on the...
yeah, and Kimi's got enough. He's going to be able to do certainly till the end of lap 14 if he's on that standard 2-stop. So Proctor's out now, and this is giving Ash. Ash is right up with him now. Ash is still yet to make his next pit stop, but very, very close there through turn 3.
Ash seems to get a pretty good run through turn 3, and then he can kind of carry that through into turn 4, and then breaking into turn 5 he seems to be doing a good defensive position.
He's just dropped up the back of it a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit there. Like I say, Proctor has obviously got massively better tyres at the moment than Ash and Harley. It should enable him just to pull away a little bit.
Another team that we've got going on at the moment is Phil Babbage and Dr.
Yeah, I just saw that in the background.
They kind of get a little bit close.
And that's allowing Castle to just pull up behind him. Now, Castle will jump most of these guys on the next round of pit stops because he hasn't been in yet to take his last set.
Ooh, Dr. looked really close then. Still manages to keep on track. Ray Shaven's in, so let's see where he comes out, whether he'll be ahead of Proctor or not.
Yeah, because he's going to have to fuel quite heavily.
Is Ash might be in? No, Ash is going to continue for another lap. Ready shaving still
Harley's in,
box.
so
I think
Ash is going to go
Proctor's
for a 5 lap stint at the end, and Harley's going to take a 6.
Proctor's ahead. Will he get ahead of Ash? I think he will.
Proctor really seems to be glitching there down into turn 1. Yeah, as Ready Shaver's just come out in front of Ash. Really, really close now. So I think the battle between these, whether Ash takes his place in this lap or not, is going to be between Ready Shaven and Proctor. It was already Proctor's 2 tenths under fastest lap of the race so far at Sector 1. The RCZ is a great little car. It's a lot more nimble and a better car than I think a lot of people give it credit for. I've always really enjoyed driving it. I find it very safe.
It was very nearly the Rodden Pollock's car season 2, actually, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It was a toss-up. It doesn't seem to suffer from a lot of the MR instability that some of the cars do. So it's 2.5 seconds back to Ready Shaven in third, who's now got a second over Ash. Now I'd expect Ash to be in this lap.
I think Proctor's going for fastest lap here. He's going purple in the middle sector, so I expect him maybe to do a 43.5. It's gone very wide though, that could cost him a little bit.
Could just cost him. Depends the drive he gets out of this last turn. Yeah, a little bit of a blip there as well.
He's going to come to the line. Let's see, he crosses the line.
No, just outside. 43.8.
Ready Shaven just catching a little bit that lap, only by a tenth maybe.
So we have got Dot Coupe and Ash in now, so again we'll keep an eye on where these guys come out. But it'd be interesting to see if Ready Shaven can chase Proctor down. He's doing it at the moment. He's taken 2 tenths out of this lap already to pull a tag 1-2.
Iceman's running on fumes here.
Again, Proctor a tenth under on sector 1. Maybe it's just the last sector. Maybe it seems to struggle with a little bit. I think Kimi will have to be in this lap.
Yeah, it looks really low. Maybe he might even run out towards the end, but I don't think it will affect him, to be honest. Maybe he's got it in more lean mixture towards the end of this lap.
Yeah, so unfortunately we can't tell pull the MFD data up like you can on F1. It'd be a great addition to the GTS just to be able to get a bit more insight into what some of the drivers are doing and what they're thinking during the race. So with a 20-second lead, I'd expect Kimi to be able to come out in front of Proctor. So we'll stick with Proctor now, see where he is. He's just coming down towards the final turns. 1% of fuel there left for Kimi as he crossed the line.
Proctor might go for this again. Might be a fastest lap from him. He's definitely quicker than David.
So Kimi's out. We'll see where he is going to hold position.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty big no-brainer. He did have a pretty big gap. Going into some ways, it's come down a little bit since Proctor pitted, but I expect Kimi to just start pulling away again on those fresh tyres.
So Ash has come out in front of Harley. He's got a 3.7 second lead with a 0.8 penalty to lose. You can do wise just to take a tenth at each of the slower corners and just let it run down where you're not going to notice the difference as much. So we've got Harley in 6th, Dot Coupe in 7th, again with a penalty himself. Phil Babbage in 8th, so that battle between those two. Phil Babbage has come out this late in the race on mediums. Odd tyre choice there.
Jeff, that must have been a mistake, because there's no way. This was like the shortest stint out of all of them, and he's on mediums.
Yeah, and he did. Well, he only pitted on lap 13, so or end of lap 12 maybe. So maybe he just thought with a slightly longer stint at the end, the mediums. But mediums are, I think the mediums are they've got the longevity, but only by like a lap or so, and then they do drop off really, really quick.
Yeah, and their delta's not exactly holding up with the softs either.
No.
He's losing a little bit of time.
Just looking at mixed lap times as well, he's had a 46.8, which, let's say, with the amount of time he spent in prepping the car before today's race, it's a good lap from Mick, that.
I reckon this could be his quickest lap because he just came up the pits. Let's see what he does in the first sector. He's still
3/10 under. If he gets a 45, it'll be an impressive lap from Mick today.
It's pretty smooth, a little bit wide going through that corner. On the exit, that's a pretty clean exit, so I don't think he's one to make a lot of mistakes. He just likes having a smooth run. I think that's why his highway's good.
Yeah, his lines are normally very, very accurate. It's just the picking up the pace. I will just say the T on the front of Mick's car is a tribute to a friend of his that he's had lost later on this year as well. It's the Fusiliers cat badge. I don't know, he wanted that as a prominent feature on his car, but again, it's like best part of half a second under his time here, and again quite clean through there as well, because I found them corners really tricky just to get right. There's not really a flow to them. It's just if you do get the first part wrong, a bit like turns 1, 2 and 3, you do tend to lose an awful lot of time. Oh, he's just gone wide there.
See the lap as he comes around the final corner. I don't think he's going to improve on his previous.
No, 47. He lost time, but he could do. He's still got the tyre wear's very, very good. Kimi's now got his gap back up to just under 6 seconds, and he will just manage this from here over these last 4 laps. Proctor, the gap to Ready Shape has not come down as much as I thought. His 2.3 is doable, and Proctor can't let up now. He's going to have to keep on for the rest of this race, because Ready Shape won't give up. And they've got Castle in. He is. This is just starting to look a little bit ragged there, Ash, for him. He's just trying to push to try and take this 4th place from Castle. So he's trying to be careful he doesn't pick up any further penalties or just push a little bit too hard so he makes a mistake.
I think Ash can do it with the tyre wear that Castle's got compared to Ash. It might be close.
Yeah, definitely. His front tyres really are worn, aren't they, on Castle's car?
Yeah, Ash's lap times are actually very good. Just did a 43.8 and then a 44.3. He's very consistent. And he's catching, especially through these long corners where the tyres are holding on for dear life.
He does look visually as well to have caught him on that stint there. And he has. He's down to 1.6 now. It's just, I think the car's weighing a fall a little bit through some of the slower sections. The Porsche, I think, is perhaps a better balanced car, but when you get a chance to let the Lexus have its legs a little bit, it is a very, very fast car in a straight line.
It seemed like through the start of the last sector he was gaining quite a lot of time. He's just lost a little bit, and it doesn't look. I think that Porsche's maybe a bit quicker in straight line. I don't know if it maybe.
I think Becky gets a good drive out onto the corner as well.
Castle's not exactly getting rid of his penalty a lot. He's only lost 2 techs here.
Proctor's had a disconnect again. So this is going to
prime position for him as well.
There's such a shame. There's 2 weeks on the trot. I think it was in a similar position last week as well. Now what it is going to mean is that this battle between Castle and Ash is for a podium finish, which is going to spur Ash on and give Castle really something to think about. Going on to the last 2 laps, it's nearly a manageable gap, and it's going to be a battle royale, I think, on the final lap.
Yeah,
social media corner, it's been fairly quiet actually today, but Pi2 has asked, was Michael in the beginning up at the beginning of the season? He's just subbing for Othed Rither of Birmingham today, and Sarah Sky says, come on Kimmy, stay strong. So I think Sarah's definitely thinking Kimi's going to take this one home.
If you just jump back up to the front now, Kimi's now wants nearly a 10-second lead. I think we'll just hand him the trophy now, and he's subsequently done a 43.4, which is a very, very impressive lap.
I think we need to focus on Castle and Ash. Ash is closing in. He's got it under a second now. Last lap this was about 2 seconds. So
yeah, and Castle's got a 0.4 penalty as well. So I know Ash is carrying a 0.1, but I would think. I mean, the 0.4 penalty, you lose more than that. I think when you take it. So the penalty system is at the minute. I would say these two are on penalties aside are neck and neck. Ash is very, very cleverly just lost his. Oh no, he hasn't. He's come back. I thought he just lost his 0.1 there. This last lap between these two is going to be a fantastic battle.
It's going to be very heaty, this one, that's for sure.
It's for a podium as well. Before it was only for 4th place, but a podium, it just feels like a massive jump from 4th place.
It does, and I think for the two of them, you'd like to hope that they don't. There's no mistake from either driver that either gifts or loses, depending on which end of it you'd be. That podium, a great clean fight with a real nice move. And they're both of these are very good drivers as well. So it should be an epic last lap, especially when you look at Castle's tyre wear.
Around the outside, he outbrakes him, and it's the first one he's got him.
That was a move. It was so close there. Great move by Ash.
Can come back though if Ash doesn't go full throttle here. It seems like actually Ash has got a pretty good exit out of there.
I think this is now where you'll start to see the tyre wear that Castle's carrying really make a difference. He's just losing tenths in the corners with the amount of push he's getting from the front end of the car.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to skill from Castle.
I'm just going to dive forward a little bit because we're now about to see where Kimmy's on the back end of his lap here. So we'll keep flicking between the two.
I will tell you if anything gets spicy.
The penalties are just equalising now as well. Just watch Kimmy come into the last chicane. Dominant win. I mean, to take 11 seconds in a 20 lap race over second place is a fantastic drive from Kimmy, and I think has got to be the odds-on favourite now for the title. I can't see anybody catching him. Ready Shaven Drift King round the last chicane.
Castle's very
yeah, Castle's gone wide there, which I think is just, like I said earlier on in the lap, might have just been the mistake that Ash needed to guarantee this third place. So a great drive from Ash to take third.
Yeah, especially when it didn't look that great early on. It looked like it was going to be around P6, P7.
Yeah, and I think obviously with Proctor's unfortunate disconnect, I think it's just, I would say, handed Ash the podium, because obviously he's had to drive a perfectly clean race to be in that position, and kept close enough so when you're doing. But a great battle there in the latter laps between Castle and Ash. Harley's come across line in 5th, a great solid result again for Harley. Dot Coop in 6th. Phil Babbage doing a bit of Grimothy Dalton there around the last corner, trying to get the back end of the RCZ out.
Showboating for the final quarter, why not?
Showboating for the lads. We're going to have BJ Robert come across in the Wasp in 8th.
Mr. Michael Howell scored 2 points.
He will. So if we had a Ball Boy's gone as well. Did I miss Ball Boy going earlier on the race?
Yeah, it was very early on, about maybe 7 laps ago, I reckon.
So again, Joe, maybe not down to default, but points there for Mick, and I would think because the others DNF'd that he would keep them points, whether the penalty carries forward because he couldn't be truly served or not. I'm not sure. We'd have to check with Robot and the league management later on in the race, but good race, quite enjoyed that. I think there's if you look at the top two, Kimmy and Reddy Shaven, the only ones not to carry penalties forward as well, which is a testament to their clean driving. But there's some good battles, some very close battles, and some great moves. And Kimmy there with a gentleman's set, pole, fastest lap, clean race and the victory. Doesn't happen very often, and a great thing to see.
Yeah. And a little bit controversial that Iceman Kimmy's wearing a Mercedes McLaren helmet whilst he's in the fourth.
Well, there's maybe mid-season loans going on. Maybe there's a bit of a football loan system going on, but it's a good drive for them, and I think an interesting race to watch. And thanks for joining us both in comms today. We'll try and break the record in Social Media Corner over the next couple of weeks. I think it'd be nice to try and next aim 600, and we'll see if we can get there. But thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching the race, and we shall catch you. I'm not sure what races we've got on later. I think there's probably a D4 F1 race later on tonight, and then we've got F2 Tuesday, Super Formula Wednesday, which will be good, and then Beginners Cup Thursday, and then into the next round of races in Group 2 and Group 3 next weekend.